Little Red Riding Hood, a girl who goes to visit her sick grandma. The visit is, however, disrupted by an evil wolf who ruthlessly eats the girl and her grandmother. Thanks to the resourcefulness of a huntsman, they are both saved and the wolf is deservedly punished. But are we looking at this story from the right point of view? The crime scene, a small house in the middle of the woods. A wolf's mutilated body in ladies' clothing has been pulled from a nearby well. 3 eyewitnesses are also present: Little Red Riding Hood, her grandma, and a local huntsman.
The statements of the 3 eyewitnesses matched. There was no need to investigate further.
Even though they confessed to the crime, they went unpunished, and their actions were viewed as self-defense.
When we studied the statements of the main protagonists more closely, it was evident that the story had many holes in it. Let's reconstruct what allegedly happened at the crime scene. The old woman's house is approached by a wolf, pretending to be her granddaughter. The woman believes him and thus meets her fate.
The wolf's vocal cords are not adapted to imitate the voice of a prepubescent girl. It is therefore very unlikely that Grandma would confuse it with Little Red Riding Hood.
The wolf swallows Grandma, changes into her clothes, and then climbs into her bed. There he waits patiently for Little Red Riding Hood to devour her as well. But is something like that even possible?
The wolf's larynx is not compatible with the size of either Grandma or the little girl.
Wearing ladies' clothing probably does not comply with any standard hunting techniques of wolves.
The sleeping wolf is spotted by a passing huntsman. He quickly rips open the wolf's belly, freeing Grandma and Little Red Riding Hood, both alive and without a scratch.
Due to the acidity caused by hydrochloric acid, which creates a pH of 1, and the presence of digestive enzymes that convert consumed food into pulp, any prolonged stay in the stomach is incompatible with life.
The main protagonists openly confess that they subsequently filled the wolf's belly with stones and sewed it up.
Filling the wolf's belly with stones does not qualify as self-defense.
When he woke up, the wolf was parched, so he went to find some water.
Post-op dehydration is typical after illicitly performed procedures. But we have to realize the wolf's belly was implanted with a large amount of sharp stones. His way to the water source must have been very painful indeed. In short, the wolf suffered like a dog.
Leaning into the well, the exhausted wolf fell in and drowned. The shocking part of the story is that the 3 tormentors watched the whole situation from nearby.
We are dealing with a case of brutal cruelty to animals. The offenders face 2 years of imprisonment.
Pleasure in cruelty to animals may be a sign of psychopathological zoosadism. The brutality of these people may be intensified by ingesting psychoactive substances, such as alcohol.
The defendants dressed the wolf in ladies' clothes, which indicates they were in a very good mood. Could their behavior have been encouraged by alcohol?
It is no secret that before Little Red Riding Hood was sent to visit her sick grandma in the woods, her mother put a bottle of wine in her basket. It is possible the trio acted under the influence of alcohol.
It is clear that the story about an evil wolf was made up by the main protagonists. The question is, what was the main motive for such brutal treatment of the poor animal?
We focused our attention on the surroundings of the crime scene, the deep woods. It is a little frequented place suited to a wide variety of people, from weirdos and various bandits to smugglers.
Some quick research revealed a major piece of information. Canines were used in the past not only for fighting, hunting, and guarding property, but also for smuggling.
Smuggling drugs or other substances in human or animal viscera is nothing unusual. One just swallows the contraband, gets to the target destination, and then just waits for the contraband to come out naturally.
In such a case, the smuggler's worst enemy is either impacted bowels or constipation.
It's possible that the smugglers didn't want to wait for the wolf to drop the contraband off. That's why they used a faster way to get to the smuggled goods. Then they filled the body with stones to make it disappear into the bottom of the well.
In such cases of smuggling, it really depends on what is being smuggled. Here, the penalty may reach up to 18 years behind bars.
A drowned wolf, filled with stones and dressed in ladies' clothing. On the other hand, 2 women without even a single scratch. Who is the victim in this story? It seems that even fairy tales have their dark secrets. The story of Little Red Riding Hood is in fact an incredibly fabricated yarn of a group of brutal smugglers.